Hello, it's me, Jessica. How are you guys? I am doing a little bit of a different type of setup because I am conserving power right now. As I noted in the About section, I do live in Dallas, Texas, so we've all been really trying to conserve power for the most part. So big appliances, all of that are, unplugged. And for the most part, I have like a little lamp, but it is fairly dark in here. So you guys wouldn't be able to see me so well anyway. So here I am, though. I thought it'd be a decent time as any while I actually have power on now to just have a little chit chat. And I saw in the last poll I did, the topic that won out was to have a just open Q&A, ask me anything style, Q&A. So I am a corporate recruiter and I'm happy to talk about job related things, but I'm also happy to talk about just general um, and answer general questions. So happy to do that. But yeah, it's been just to address the main topic right now. A lot of people are, suffering in Dallas, Texas. It's been from the power outages to just the really low temperatures. It's been like in the teens, and right now it's like in the 20s, I think. So still very cold for Texans, but not as bad as it was a few weeks ago. So there's that. I'm not sure if everyone can really hear me too well. Let me know in the comments if you're able to hear me or if you're not. I may be cutting out just because of power. So if you're able to hear me, put like a yes in the chat. Let me know that you're able to hear me. If you aren't able to hear me, let me know that too. And then I can try to like adjust my volume or put in my AirPods or something to make it a little clearer. But anyway, the scenario it's just tough right now. And I know some folks have had some flooding recently. I was talking to a lady, she also lives in Dallas, but not in the downtown area. And she was saying her dishwasher flooded out, and I've been seeing a lot of videos of just the pipes breaking or, the just really random stuff. So I'm really hoping that does not happen. That's the worst on top of it being cold. So that's kind of the scenario right now. And I don't see any comments, so I definitely hope I am live and you guys can hear me. If you can, let me know. If you can't, let me know, just so I know something. I'm going to take a pause just to see if folks can hear me because I don't want to be talking if no one can hear me. I don't see anything. I don't know if people can hear me or not on here. And I just got a message from someone. Let me see if I can see what that is. I'm going to take one, like a really small break. Oh, hey, King of Kill. Okay, you can hear. I just got a message. Oh, you guys can't respond in the chat. Oh, weird. Okay. Let me see something. Let me see if I can respond in the chat. That's so weird. Um, Test. Okay, so I can respond in the chat, but I just saw a message that said um, other people can't chat in here. So if that is not working, then that's not really gonna work for what I had in mind. Um, Hey, Cassandra Millhouse. Okay, you said hello, it's working now. Okay, great. Hi, Cassandra. Barry's coming in saying it's working. Okay, cool. That was weird. I don't think I've ever experienced that with StreamYard. Hey, Mr. Rounds, Mr. 100 Rounds. Respect to all, good vibes only, salute. Love that. Hey, King of Kills. Thank you for letting me know no one could say anything in the chat. I was like, am I just talking? And I could see people in the chat, but I was like, are these not real people? What's going on? The real deal with Shonda. Hey Shonda, how are you? Thank you for letting me know that everything was working. Once I sent a message, it started working. Oh, okay, that was the key. All right. Well, okay, now I know for the future. I've never experienced that before. I normally don't think I put in a message unless it's like, "Hey y'all" or something. But that's good to know. I'll know that for next time. And then hey Edward, nice to see you in here. Is anyone else here in Texas? I know I think Barry is in Florida, Edward's in Hawaii. But is anyone else here from like Texas, Louisiana? Oklahoma, I know, has been having some struggles too. But I said, "Hey, lady, thank you, Shonda. Yes, I'm doing well." So I was just saying, just kind of on edge. I think everyone's on edge for if there's going to be another outage. Is it going to, warm up like we expect it to? Every time I look at the forecast, it says in a few days it should be closer to the 50s, 40s, 50s, which I think will really help us. But yeah, everything else is just downhill. And I have a friend and work colleague who's in Houston, and they have been really getting it lately too. So it's been tough, but hanging in here. Cassandra, you're from Houston. Oh my gosh. So, Cassandra, how are you doing? How are things there? Do you have power? Do you have water? Because the recent thing I just saw and someone just messaged me about too was the boil notice for a lot of Texas. And you guys, I stock up on bottled water all the time, but it's more from a preference. I just like the taste of bottled water. But I did see like a bull notice for most of Texas because it's just like one thing after another, to be honest with you guys. But the water supply is basically at risk. So not only have we had the like freezing temperatures that people aren't used to, but people have been like having their faucets, dripping to prevent pipes from freezing and bursting over. And for some, that has not been working. And so now the city has been sharing that the water levels are too low. And so apparently, when that happens, it can be unsafe to drink. So that's kind of the scenario we're in right now where people are being told, hey, you need to boil your water. So um, yeah, luckily I do have bottled water. Cassandra, I hope you have some bottled water on deck just in case. Let me see. Mr. Rounds. Yes, Mr. Rounds, you are in New Orleans. How are things there? I was actually talking to some kids from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. It sounds like they're good. I mean, school's just shut down and it's colder than usual, but and they said that they had some power outages kind of here and there, but nothing as crazy as Texas. I've been talking with kids from LSU for an auditing type of internship with the company I work with, Nestle. So it's been good to hear that they've been okay. Thank you, Barry. You know what? I'm just trying to stay as positive as possible. I am seriously just happy that I have heat because on Monday, that was the scariest. It was pretty much, I think I was at the 11th hour mark of not having power. And so it had gotten pretty cold. I was like bundled all up. And I was just like, you know what? there's nothing I can do about this. I'm going to do this last report to, it's called, what's the system? Because it's not my direct power company, ERCOT or whatever, in Oncor. So I submitted like a report through there because I couldn't get through via phone or anything. So yeah, I just was like, you know what? I'm going to submit this report. I'm going to drink this water and I'm going to go to sleep. That's like literally all I can do. Like, hopefully I stay warm. I'm bundled up, whatever. And like, I woke up and I was kind of sleep, kind of awake, somewhere in between. And the power finally came on, and we've been getting different notices. But yeah, finally, after like 11 hours. So I feel for the people that still are without power. Thank you, Partly Cloudy. Have a great class. Thank you for stopping in. What is happening in Texas? Shonda, it feels like the apocalypse is happening here. Like we're, it's just the fact that, so I left New York. For a lot of you guys, I left New York, and I had different reasons for leaving New York. Still not regretting that decision at all. But I looked at the weather in New York, and it's like in the 40s or whatever, and it's sunny, and I'm just like, how, in what world, in what alternative universe is New York actually warmer than Texas? It makes no sense. And I had a friend reach out to me and say, like, I can't believe you left New York for this Texas craziness. I'm just like, yeah, I know how to pick them, don't I? They say by Friday the temperature will be back to normal for you guys. Yes, I am so hopeful. I hope it goes away and stays away. But yes, thank you, Edward. But I mean, really, point of the video, definitely don't want to harp too much on what's going on unless you guys have more questions about that. But I did want to, and I'll have a follow-up video to this where I can actually be on video, I'm sure. But I was like, well, I might as well have the open Q&A of like ask me questions, anything. So it could be anything recruiting related, job related, or just general questions for me. So definitely wanted to kind of give that opportunity. I'll probably be on here for probably 30 to 45 minutes. I won't make this super long, but yeah. Let's see, Cassandra, we have power, but no water and no internet. It's crazy. Oh my gosh. So I forgot about that, Cassandra. So Monday, I didn't even realize that the internet was out because there was no power anyway. So I was like, well, there's not going to be internet, of course, because my, modem wouldn't be able to connect. So anyway, I got the notice from Spectrum like Tuesday morning. It was like, internet has been restored. I'm like, what? Didn't even know it was out. So yeah, that's been the other issue, is that like it's the electric, the internet, which is not good for a millennial. Just everything. It's just kind of gone downhill for us. Mr. 100 Round says bull advisory for us also. Oh, I didn't know you guys had a bull advisory in Louisiana too. Oh my gosh, be safe, Mr. 100 Rounds. I hope you have bottled water as well on deck to get through that. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to some warmer temperatures for everybody. Let me see. Edward is saying Texas owns and manages its power grid, which presents a problem. Oh my gosh. I'm slowly learning that this could have definitely all been avoided. But, here we are. Here we are. But yeah, and I feel like the infrastructure, like a lot of what I've been reading, like with the old pipes and things, like it's just also the fact that we have such bad infrastructure, I think across the country, because even like thinking about back home in Missouri, we don't have the best infrastructure. Or like whenever you're taking a road trip, at least for me, I always think like, this is kind of like some of the roads. I'm just like, this does not feel like a first world countries, some areas. So yeah, definitely a problem, Edward. Thanks for sharing that because I'm literally just learning through this process. Mr. 100 Rounds says, it's getting better. Can't control the situation. Gotta roll with it. Just ready for heat, sunny days. Yeah. So, you know what? That will definitely be one of the positives here because, I mean, you definitely hear people kind of complain when it's really hot in the summer, like in July. I am sure there won't, well, I feel like people will complain in general, but I think we're going to be a lot more thankful for those really hot temperatures because I mean this is going to be in the history books, like, this hasn't happened since a decade ago, like in 2011. This happened, so something that's easily forgettable, or for some they weren't even around at that time, so it's definitely something to be thankful and appreciative for the summer days for sure, Mr. 100 Rounds. Hello, hello, Paolindo. How are you? How are you in Italy? We're freezing in Texas, but that's okay. It's going to get warmer. How are you doing? And Paolindo, as you're coming in, what type of questions do you have for me? Again, like it can be anything, job advice related. It could be just life related, just open Q&A. I think I will do this. You see how I changed that, guys? I think I will do this again when it's on video. Um, Paolindo is saying, I'm fine, thank you. We're glad to hear that. There is no snow here. Well, that is a very nice thing. On one end, I'm actually very happy that, some folks they get some snow. We got snow, but we also got the ice. The ice was the biggest thing I was concerned about from the very beginning. Just because people don't, well, a lot of people here don't know how to drive in snow or ice. But in St. Louis, Missouri, we have the problem with black ice. And even for people that know, how to drive in wintry conditions, still have issues with it. So, I mean, here you see people just sliding down. It's just because people think that, oh, I have four-wheel drive, like I can do it. Like I'm fine. That's what I paid, the money for, but it's ice. So so it's not much you can do there. But yeah, that's the positive thing is that some of the kids get to experience snow because they didn't get to see that really for Christmas. We don't really have a white Christmas, in the South, of course. And even in St. Louis, we typically wouldn't see too much snow during Christmas time at least, but, in January, February, we would. Questions for you. Paolino says, hmm. Yes, questions for me. And Paolino, again, it can be job related or life related. And it looks like my first question, the only one that has a question for me so far is Paolindo. And the question is, when will we go to New York? Well, that is a loaded question, Paolindo. I don't really advise anyone to go to New York until their crime situation is under control. I keep seeing numbers, like I believe the last number I saw was that crime had gone up about 28% for New York since the last year, which this was 2020, when I had already in 2020 been seeing those reports starting of crime going up right when, the pandemic kind of started. So it's it's a loaded question. I'm really not sure even when I will be back to New York, especially now that my dad no longer lives there. He got out of Dodge right after I did, or a few months after I did. So let's see here. Mr. 100 Round says, how do you keep balance? How do you find strength in your weakness and the weaknesses in your strength? Wow, I feel like that's a spiritual question there. So, how do I keep balance in my life? Part of that is just I like to write daily schedules for myself. And then the other part of that is I took a break just because It's cold. But I normally do start my days out with yoga, which helps me just it kind of gives me one just the time for myself, so kind of a self-love practice, but then it does really help me focus a bit more too. So I do yoga in the morning, and I also think the writing out my schedule the day before and looking at my calendar helps with some of the balance. As far as how do I find strength and weakness and weakness in your strength, I guess just generally that could apply to anything. You know, if you're working on something, you can definitely make it a strength. But if, an area that you're weak in, it's just, I think, focusing your energy in it and also knowing if it's even important. Like I'm not, let's see, I'm not a technical person, so it doesn't really matter if I know how to code or not in this life. So I don't know if that really answers your question, but it's definitely a theoretical one. Paolo's laughing. Cassandra has a really good question here, and it's how did I get started as an HR recruiter? That is a short and a long story. Cassandra, I definitely did not go to school or plan to become a recruiter at all. I really don't think anyone does. I don't think anyone goes to school and they're like, yeah, I'm going to graduate and become a recruiter. So, in college, I studied, well, initially I was actually pre law. So I was studying political science and I was on the pre law track because I thought I wanted to become a corporate recruiter, or my backup option, I think, was a public defender, which I know they don't make a lot of money, but I was like, you know, I don't know. It was a different mindset, I guess. But so I thought I was going to do that when I went to school. And I went to a Jesuit university back home. And then I started taking poli sci classes and I started talking with lawyers in all kinds of different fields. And I slowly decided this was not for me. It's one, the lawyers I spoke with, oftentimes they were just not happy. And then when I asked them about their day to day work, they it was just very boring. I was like, I don't want to be doing that. I don't want to be reading, hours and hours long reports or drawing up these manuals. And like when I would say like, hey, I want to be a corporate recruiter, that's a lot of what I was going to be doing. It was drawing up a lot of policies and regulations and things like that, or reading through these different contracts. And which like that sounds terrible. Um, so I started just talking to different people. I had a mentor, which I was really lucky to have, that came along with a scholarship program. And I started talking to him about, hey, I need to change my program. I want to do something different. And he started talking about like, business degrees. And I decided to talk to a career advisor. And she shared with me too. I don't think she was great. I think if I was the career advisor then, I probably would have told myself to study IT, um, because you don't really need a business degree to move into business. But that was the path I took. I moved into business. I studied international business, international relations, and Spanish, which was what I was studying throughout college. That didn't change. But when it came to get closer to graduation, I was like, oh my gosh, what in the world am I going to do with this international business degree? Because what I thought I was going to do was consult different businesses on their like work whenever they would move into another country or be like a consultant. And then I found out it was going to be really challenging to do. Those jobs really, they existed, but not in the way that I thought. So I was really looking for any guidance. Like, what can I do? What can I do with this degree? Because I don't want to graduate and be like some of these folks that I was talking to that graduated right, like in the mist, like in 2011 or 2000, right in 2012, they were already graduating and saying, like, there's no jobs, and then they wound up going back to school. I did not want to do that. I wanted to move into an area where I could have some enjoyment and also get a job. So When I talked to my mentor again, I just had another conversation about like, what can I do with my degree? What do you see as my strengths? What do you see me moving into? And he told me to consider HR. And his reasoning for it was the fact that I was going to graduate with this business degree. And then I also have been a really, I guess, really good at socializing. I'm good with people. I like talking with people. At one point, I was thinking about studying psychology for that reason, to really study the mind and how people interact with each other. And so he had a connection that was in a leadership position at a PR firm or public relations firm. And he set up a meeting with me and this man, and I just had to sell myself. And he told me if I sold myself well to him, he would put in a good word for me and hopefully get me an internship at this company. So I interned after interviewing. I interned at a public relations firm. It's pretty well known. If you look at my LinkedIn, you'll see this, but it's called Fleischman Hillard, and I did a recruitment internship there. And then I excelled. I did my best work there. Moved into another internship opportunity. It was focused in HR projects, doing things like research into immigration and really just random anything that came my way, pretty much. And then when an opportunity opened up there, I raised my hand and was like, "Hey, I'm looking at opportunities for when I graduate." And I made it known that I wanted to get a full time opportunity there with them. And so something opened up and I moved right into it. So I'm happy to share more, Cassandra, if you'd like to know more about like my first couple of working years and how I transitioned throughout. Because I have worked as a recruiter, I've worked as an HR generalist, as a junior business partner, then as a lead over a diversity and inclusion program, and then as a trainer, and now I'm back to the recruiting world. So I've had kind of a robust HR experience. So if you'd like more, let me know. Paulindo is saying, but I don't want to go to Texas. You don't want to go to Texas. I prefer Mexico. Well, Mexico is not too far away. I actually have not been to Mexico yet. It has not been on the top of my travel list, but with being so close, I'm sure I will do that probably within the next year. Edward Smart is saying, I'm thinking about, hmm, you're thinking about becoming a security consultant to supplement my income. Edward, where I see the most money is in private security for sure. Like those folks that will provide security for, I don't know, like a really wealthy or high, kind of higher on the ranks family, they make a lot of money. So if I was going to say do anything, if you're comfortable with that type of work, I would do it. I would definitely do private security for sure. I remember talking to this guy who worked in private security, and he was leaving that field to work into corporate security. And I guess it depends on your motivations. If your motivation is to make more money, private security. So yeah, working as a security consultant could also be, a good a good route. I would say you'd make more money in that though, in private. But if you want to be a security consultant, I mean, security is definitely an area that is increasing, from a like hands-on security, but then also from a like online and technical cybersecurity space too. I would also say if you'd ever want to move into something more cybersecurity related, so dealing with, securing data and securing email and securing, I mean, there's so many directions you can go with cybersecurity. That could be another option for you. And you know me, I'm always thinking about, okay, what's the highest paying option for someone? So those would be my tips on that. King of Kill says Texas is big on guns. Do I own one? If not, are you considering buying one? King of Kill, that's a great question. So yes, and I know that Texas is big on guns. I do not own a gun. I do want to learn how to shoot once I feel safer doing that. And then I would be fine with purchasing a gun. My big hang up is I need to learn how to use one before I buy one. So that's my thought on it. But I actually like being in a state where I can own a gun, to be honest with you, because when I look at the crime, again, in places like New York, okay, well, they have very tight, gun regulations, but and yet people are, I mean, violence is running rampant. Like people are pushing people into trains, they're attacking older Asian Americans like crazy. Just punching. I saw this article. I didn't get to read it though, but the headline was like woman gets punched in the face and somewhere. I'm just like, and it's every borough. It's not like there's certain areas in the poor community, which I think is why it's getting so much shine right now. Like no one talks about violence so much in the Bronx, or nothing shocking about, oh, there's violence in Brooklyn. Like I think people are used to seeing that, but once it gets to touching closer to home and some of the wealthier communities like Midtown and Lower Manhattan, that's when people really start talking about it. So yeah, I mean, I saw the trend of crime increasing before I left, and I was like, I'm out of here. I can't be a single single woman in this city. I'm not doing it. And then later, I saw the articles about Black women in Harlem, which at one point I did live there, and so I was just like, oh my gosh, that could be me. So but yes, King of Kill, that's definitely top of mind, but I do not own a gun right now. Definitely plans of getting one when I am trained on how to use it. Oh, thank you, Mr. 100 Rounds. Appreciate that. Oh my goodness. Real Brother has graced us with his presence. Let me read your comment. Apologies for the rudeness. Don't have time to add input, but still want to log these watch minutes. Thank you. I appreciate it. Super chat and super checks coming soon. I hope so. Be great to have that type of appreciation in my future. Move over Kelly stamps. There's plenty of room at the top. Yes, for sure. I love Kelly stamps, by the way. She's so funny. We have different personalities. I think I gravitated towards listening to Kelly Stamps because I have a friend. I actually shared her Kelly Stamps YouTube channel like a while back. This was like maybe 6 months ago, and she was like, "Yes, I can see." You see where this like similar people because of her type of humor, her way of talking. Like it's like awkward in a way, but you gravitate towards it because everyone has a little bit of that. So I just think she's really funny and very authentic, and I love it. So, thanks, Cassandra. And I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. I don't know if it's Cassandra or Cassandra, but definitely appreciate you being here. And that was a great question. I'm always happy to tell my story. But Cassandra, what area of work are you in, or what's your industry? Because I can definitely provide more insight into HR. Overall, I feel like if anyone's trying to move into HR, the easiest way to do it, unless you know someone or you studied organizational development in school, is to work as a recruiter at a large company, or at least a company where they have, some prospects into the HR division, where you can actually take on HR projects and move more into that. But you may end up liking recruitment more, like I did. So, not necessarily. I won't say I like recruitment the most. I also enjoy D&I work as well and training, but it's just one of the buckets that I enjoy. I don't know if anyone ever just has that one specific thing that they want to do forever. Let me see. Edward is saying executive protection. That's what I'm considering. Oh yeah, then yes, yes, Edward. I would say 100%. That would be the way to go, because you're gonna get higher pay, and I feel like you'll have a little bit more flexibility with that too, as a consultant. So yeah, I think that would be great. I do wonder because with thinking about Hawaii, I just am not familiar with the market there, especially when it comes to security. So, but if you look at any company with their, like, if you look at their C suite, whenever there's travel going on, they're going to have a security team that manages that executive protection. But it depends on how often they're traveling, what type of company is it. So yeah, or you could always become more of a manager over, like a director over security services at a company as well. I would say that pay is pretty decent too. So you have a lot of options, Edward. I think as travel picks up again, that's really where more so the executive level protection will come in handy, because right now no one's traveling. They can all do Zoom chats. They're just meeting over Zoom or Microsoft Teams. So I actually had a lady today I talked with, and she was like, I so appreciate that this is a normal phone conversation and not another Zoom chat. And I'm just like, yeah, I think everyone's zoomed out by now. So I try to mix it up when I'm at work. Like a lot of times I will try to show my screen or show my camera just so you can see a face instead of, a lot of people don't really show their face a lot of times. And for those that have entered later, hi primping. I'm not showing my face because, we're on a power conservation right now. We're trying to save as much energy as we can. So, I don't have all the lights bright and shining right now. So you wouldn't see anything otherwise. So you can see my face in a picture for tonight. But yeah, so Edward, I'm glad you brought that up. I would see a lot of growth for you in the future. Just right now, I don't know. I don't know how much opportunity there is just because everyone's at home. And hello, Primping. And you're saying hi to the chatters. I like that you say that, by the way, Primping. And if anyone's checked out Primping's channel, she has the best voice. I always say this. You're probably tired of me saying that, Primping, but you literally have the best voice. It's just so soft and really like sweet sounding. I love it. Cassandra says, and let me know if I'm, again, Cassandra, if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, you can let me know. You're not going to hurt my feelings. I'm constantly asking people, am I pronouncing their name correctly? Because I can butcher some names pretty easily. Let's see. I work with higher education. Okay. Currently have a business management degree with a minor in HR management. Okay. And you're considering making a career change to transition to HR? Yay! Okay, question for you. And you said that I'm pronouncing your name right. Yay. Okay, perfect. So what are some of the reasons you like to transition into HR, and why do you want to leave higher education? You can't say the pay because we already know that. It's probably one reason. But yeah, I would love to hear more about that. But in general, yeah, I would just say for you, you have a minor in HR management. The other thing that I did, Cassandra, is before when I started thinking I wanted to move into like becoming an HR generalist or business partner, I decided to go ahead and get my SHRM CP, or my Society of Human Resource Managers Certified Professional. That was pretty much like the industry standard, or the newer industry like standard. The other certification was the PHR, or the professional in HR. I think either way you go, I think you're fine. I have heard the PHR might be slightly harder than the SHRM CP, but I just did the SHRM CP because it was newer, and I was already a member of SHRM, and I got like a slight discount. Like I was able to take $100 off of the of either the test or the learning materials or something. But I would definitely say get the SHRM CP because you do. you grasp all the essentials of HR, and it's very much recognized by most companies, and they will look for you to have a SHRM CP for most HR roles. So what I did was, even though I was working as like a recruiter in a corporate setting, and I had some HR projects under my belt and had some of that experience, I wanted to have a full like title as an HR. And technically, I was an HR business partner, but a lot of what I did on day to day was more just HR generalist, related, like making sure people get paid and, answering different employee questions, which are normally tied to benefits or something, or kind of the random, this girl did this, and, kind of the just day to day people issues would occasionally come up too. But that really helped me, and it showed like, hey, I'm serious. I am moving into HR, whether it's here or elsewhere. And so I would definitely recommend you get that certification. Even though I do see, I mean, you have a minor in HR management, I think that will help you with your transition if you're open to talking to people, and you feel like you could move into a role where you're essentially poaching candidates and talking about different new opportunities to them. I would recommend moving into recruitment, because within recruitment, the degree and all that and the experience doesn't always matter. It's just more so, can you connect with people and build relationships and close like the negotiation of an offer and get people, into the company or starting into a role. So it's a little bit different. They're not going to ask you like, do you have employee relations experience already, or do you have labor relations experience, and all these things. You can kind of move into recruitment, get different HR projects, and then transition with a company versus kind of doing it the harder way. If that makes sense. Prepping is saying hi to everybody. Welcome, everyone. Cassandra said I was good on the name pronunciation. Let me see here. Cassandra says she was okay. So you were studying for the PHR. Perfect. That will stand out to employers. I will definitely applaud you for your efforts there. Go ahead and get that done. Just get it done. Now, Cassandra, if you're still in here, I do have a little bit of a story for you, because I had a friend, although it's not the PHR, but it's the SHRM CP. Oh, she had her test about a week and a half ago, and she had some trouble because everything is virtual, and ended up what was, I believe, scheduled to be a test to start around noon. She ended up taking at like 4 or 5 p.m. that day. So just be careful. Just make sure you're very informed about the test and how everything works. But yeah, um, good luck with studying for the PHR. I'm sure you'll do great. Just please do make sure you study and do all of the test prep materials for sure. Let me see here. I'm loving all the feminine energy in here. King of Kill is so funny. Shout out to all the queens in the chat tonight. Well, thanks, King of Kills. I am sure you love being all of this around all this feminine energy. Isn't it great? Primping and Easy TV says, Jessica, I know you didn't expect for Texas to turn into New York. Oh my gosh. Like, seriously. Seriously. Not exactly my you know, expectation, but it does seem like a lot of things that haven't happened in 10 years are now happening, or haven't happened for a very long time are happening. So if anything, I am just soaking it all up, learning, and I know I need to be prepared for anything. The one thing prepping that I'm really, really thankful for is that I wasn't born and raised in Texas. And for no real reason other than I know how to deal with the cold. So in St. Louis, Missouri, you get really cold temperatures, not quite like Chicago, because Chicago's wind chill is just way worse than St. Louis. but you do get really low temperatures. Like it could feel like it's negative something degrees. So I was like, okay, I know what I can do. But the other weird thing about Texas, guys, is everything's pretty much electric. There are some places where you have like a gas stove, but in St. Louis you will find more places that do have like a gas oven or a gas stove, or maybe the heat is gas, versus here. So if the power did go out, um like the place I lived in before, like it was gas stove, or gas oven. So if the power had gone out, I would still be able to cook food. But in this scenario, the tricky situation is like, okay, well, you have an electric stove and you have an electric oven, so how do you cook food? So it's just all around crazy here. Let me see. Cassandra said that makes a lot of sense. Good, good, good. And you're still here. Perfect. Let me know if you have other questions, or, I'll try to do more of these open chats. But Cassandra, I'm normally on live, normally on the weekends. This weekend might look a little different unless it actually does warm up. But I'll probably be paying catch up too. Like I can't do laundry. Like a lot of things I just normally would have done by now. Like the laundry is just like hanging there because you can't use it. So I've got a lot of errands to do this weekend if things get back to normal. Prepping says, "OMG, yes." Yeah, no, prepping. I did not expect this at all, but yes, I'm thankful that I knew how to deal with it. But I will say, when in St. Louis, Missouri, when it gets cold, people don't really go to that many places. Like they'll go to Christmas party, they'll go to a club a little bit, but I mean, all of the events and stuff, everything pretty much slows down. So I had another friend kind of joking with me because she's from the South, and she was saying, yeah, I'm not used to this. Everything shuts down in the winter, but it's just too cold sometimes. Mr. 100 Rounds, y'all are beautiful people. Enjoy the rest of y'all evening. Going to cook. One love. Oh, thank you, Mr. 100 Rounds. I think I'm going to go to, I'll just get off at 7, make it a full hour. Why not? Um, I was thinking at least she's prepared mentally. So have you have power? Yes, and I know that a few others don't. I know Team Geo, she doesn't have power. At least the last I saw, she didn't, and then Minister Terrence didn't. So I'm hoping they get power soon. So guys, it was supposed to be a rolling outage. So what they told everyone was, hey, conserve your energy, set your temperatures low to like between 65, 68 or something. We're going to do these planned outages. They shouldn't last more than 30 to 45 minutes, but we're going to do this to make sure that, we don't have to have longer outages. So fast forward to the day after. Now, mind you, I actually didn't do these things. I know I should have, but I didn't. I didn't set my temperature lower, which helped me out because instead of it being like 30 degrees or 40 degrees, I think it had just approached the 40s when the power came back on. So if I had done what they said initially, I would have been SOL and even colder. So just throwing that out there. But yeah, the sad thing is people had set their thermostats lower, and then to be out, like I've seen some folks when I get on my Nextdoor app, they're like, okay, it's been 24 hours now. It's just nuts. It is nuts, but I'm hoping the folks that, you know, that really need it, they get their power ASAP. I know the older communities. I saw a lady on my Nextdoor app. She's in a senior living apartments community, and they didn't have power for a while, but she does have it now. So I was super happy to see that. Like I'm very, my heart goes out to the older folks, to little kids, and also like the homeless community. Like where do they go? Like there's nowhere to go. And I do think there was already a man who was homeless who had died from this whole experience. And then not to mention the animals too, like the stray pets and cats and things. So it's just tough. Let me see. King of Kill says, did I play sports in school? Kind of. I say kind of because I'm really not into sports. So I tried. So obviously, like with gym, you do different things in gym school. Fast forward to high school. Was I freshman? Yeah, I was a freshman. So I joined like Poms or cheerleading, whatever, cheer squad, whatever it's called. I did that for about a week. True story, about a week. And I was like, I'm out of here because it wasn't so much the cheering or anything that we had to do. It was just more of the conversation that some of the girls were having. I'm like this bright-eyed, bushy-eyed tail, like very innocent little kid, and the girls were just talking about some very elevated topics, which was not my jam, and I was like, I'm out of here. So that was pretty much why. So nothing even sports related at that time. I was just like, this is not my crowd, and so I quit that. And then during high school, for some reason, so I had a physics teacher who's also like the track coach, and he would always ask me to try out for track, and I was just like, no. He'd be like, you're fast. I'm like, no, I'm just rushing to the class. Like, no, I can't run. I promise you. And so I would tell him every time, like, I cannot run. I promise you. And I had to move to another school, and then I had the like women track coaches asking me about track and other girls asking me. And I was just like, you know what? Y'all keep asking me about this. I'm going to show you guys. Like, I cannot run. So I was like, I'm just going to try it. Just if if they keep asking me, maybe there's something to it. Let me just try it out. If I can't run, like they'll see it, whatever. And so I did the conditioning for the summer. Like, it was horrible. You're like running upstairs, doing all this stuff. Greatest like shape of my life, I will say. Best shape. But it was hard to do all that. So anyway, fast forward post conditioning. So I get my first track meet, right? And I run the 400. So they put me as a sprinter. I did not think I was a sprinter, but at the same time, I'm just not into sports, guys. I'm just not athletic. I do enough just to stay like keeping my size nice. Um, anyway, so I run that. I came in like I think seventh place out of I think eight people. So not last, but almost last. So during that track meet though, I sprained my ankle. Can't make this stuff up. So I sprained my ankle. I didn't even realize I sprained my ankle. My mom's friend of a friend like was meeting over the house, and so they were like, your ankle looks puffy. And then everyone looked and it was like, yeah. And so long story short, I couldn't play anymore, and I was not really depressed about it. I was like, you know what? Whatever. So there was that. So those are the sports that I played, kind of, sort of. Hey, Ella, how are you? You're hearing my sports scenario. Yeah, I'm not. King Kill, I'm really not into, really not into sports. So what I do now, though, I do yoga, or I practice yoga, I should say. I will do just workouts, like, the 15, 30 minute, whatever workout just to get it done. Haven't been the best at those lately. I don't do them every day. When I'm really good, I go to classes. That's what I love. I like dance classes. And so, yeah, I enjoy the dance classes. I will say pole dance class are really good for your abs. So I can't wait till those are open again. And I would say for men and women. I would say men and women, they are really good for your abs, and just overall, like your arms, everything that I need to work on. I can't say I have the strongest arms. Those classes are great. Zumba, I've tried some of those. Depends on the instructor. They can be good. And then Pilates is awesome too. So yeah, that's how I try to stay fit. But lately, it's just been. I mean, I'm not going to classes, so I've just been doing stuff at home. Edward says I can see you as a pom pom girl. Yeah, I mean, I think I was just interested in, the cutesy stuff. I was like, oh, this will be fun. And as King of Kill says, elevated topics. Yes, I was not ready for that. So it's like I'm out of here. Yes, Edward, I can see her doing that as well. Oh, really? Well, cool. Yeah, I did it for a whole week. It was great. King of Kill says, great story. King of Kill says, dance, you have to bust a few moves for us at some point. You know what, King of Kill? If I, in some time in the future, for some reason, have 100,000 subscribers and that many people are like interested in seeing me dance, sure. Otherwise, I'd probably share more of those stories on my Instagram. If I'm ever out, like Instagram is more my outlet for just like my day to day type of stuff or like my adventures or things I get into. I actually did share videos of myself dancing, but this was before I got heavily involved in YouTube. So yeah. But on YouTube, probably not, unless again I meet some outlandish number of people that want to see me make a random random video, or maybe I'll make a second channel. You never know. Cassandra says, I watched your mystery shopping videos. Okay. And I tested the theory and have signed up with the same company. Okay, so you signed up with EPMS. Great. I love a challenge, so this will definitely be something new. Yeah, you know what? With mystery shopping, I liked it. I actually got involved with them because so it was around the time of my layoff, and got started with them, and I was like, this is really easy money. And at the same time, I was looking for an apartment. So I actually found out about the company through a lady named Danielle Pierce, and she would just share random ways of making extra income. But she really didn't go into detail about it. It was just kind of in her list of companies to look at, things she'd done before. And so I decided to make a video. Like that was like, I don't know, like a year ago, I guess, or maybe yeah, I guess a little over, slightly over a year ago. And yeah, I was just like, that was probably one of my most casual videos. I was just getting started, didn't know about YouTube, and I was just like, hey guys, do this mystery shopping thing. And I was breaking it down. So I'm so glad to hear that you learned about it from that, some of my videos, and let me know how things go. It is definitely the easiest thing you can do. Like literally, if you're looking for apartments, it's great to do because you're making money by doing what you're going to do anyway. But even if you're not looking at apartments, if you move to a new city, it's pretty nice because you get to kind of know the area while making money too. Or if you're in real estate or thinking about real estate, it's pretty cool to do too. But overall, you can make some decent money, especially when they have bonuses. There are times where I get emails about like, hey, we have these bonus shops, we have these virtual shops even. And so you can make some easy money just by visiting these apartments, noting stuff down and then completing a report. And they pay. Like the great thing, you don't have to put money down, which is why I've always been skeptical of mystery shopping, because as soon as people are like, yeah, you just gotta spend this money, and I'm like, skirt. You're like, what? Spend what money? I'm not spending any money. You just pay me. But I know that's the main thing for most of these shops. But yeah, apartment mystery shopping, you don't have to spend money up front. You just need a phone, computer, internet, and you fill out the report. They pay you. You can get direct deposit, and yeah, they pay you. For me, it was always the 22nd, I believe, of the month, and that's it. So very good. Keep me posted, Cassandra. And I am over the 7 p.m. mark. So I'm going to go ahead and get off of here. But I will, I don't know when I'll have another one of these. It might be kind of random like this one was, because I was like, oh, I have power. I can do this. But I will try to just have a chat. It may not be as long as this one, or it could go on longer. Who knows? But it was really nice to chat with everybody. And hello, Buddha. Nice to see you in here. I am just kind of wrapping things up and closing stuff down, but it's so nice to see you. I hope you're doing pretty well. Edward is saying hi to everybody. Oh, I missed you, JMJ. Hey, how are you? Welcome in. Welcome, welcome. I am closing things down, but it's nice to see you. And I am, you know what, Buddha, I'm good. I'm warm right now, so I'm happy. I think I noted in the description like I might be a little grumpy, but you know what? I'm fine. I'm good and I'm thankful. Cassandra is saying it was very informative. I will let you know. Okay, perfect. I'm glad it was informative because sometimes with my videos, I'm always wondering about, am I delivering information that the listener or the audience is interested in? It's really tough to know that, being the person that is so close to the information sometimes. So I am so happy to hear that. And please do share with others. Like if people are just, you don't have to share the video, but at least share the company and like tell them like, hey, it's legit. If you have success with it, and you like doing it, and you know people that are kind of in between jobs right now, I mean, I'd rather them make some money than no money. It's not going to replace your like full-time income, but it can bring in something. Like it can pay a bill or two, you know. Edward Smart says, "Great live, thank you. You are welcome, and I thank you for being here bright and early too. You were on it. You're like, I'm ready." Ella, thumbs up to the host. Yes, please do hit the like button. Thank you, Ella. Appreciate that. Um, and Buddha saying hi to everybody. Glad to hear that. Yes, thank you, Buddha. I appreciate it. And then Zero just came in here. Hey, I got it. I caught you this time. Greetings, everyone. Yes, you caught me, and I am heading out. But Zero, it's so nice to see you in here. I hope you are doing okay. And I can't remember where you're located actually. But throw that in the comments. If you are in the South, I hope you're staying warm. But for some reason, I don't think you are. I don't know if you're on the East Coast or if you're in Atlanta, but let me know. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything before I jump off. But yeah, I am fine, and I can't wait to be back on video with everyone. But it was nice to have a little chit chat with you guys. Thank you, Cassandra. You have a great night too, and I hope you continue to stay warm, and that you have your power and the water cut back on, because I think your case was the water. So be very careful and just hang in there. We will get through this, and it will make us smarter and stronger. Oh, Zero, you are in the South. Where are you? And I hope you're being safe too and staying warm. Thank God you're good down there. Yes, all good. All good. All right, so I am going to go ahead and jump off, but I appreciate you guys being here. Seems like this is a good night. Like I normally don't go live during the middle of the week and during the evening, so I will start weaving in some evening chats on my channel. So again, thank you everybody. I hope everyone has a great night. Stay safe, and I will see you guys very soon. Have a good night, lovely people.